Here it is. As an international institution engaged in various fields, United Nations, together with 22 UN agencies in Indonesia, conducted a study on how UN programs have an impact in all provinces here in Indonesia, which is assisted by the government and stakeholders in each region. The following is an exclusive interview with the UN Resident Coordinator in Indonesia, Valerie Julliand. Here it is.
United Nations in Indonesia officially launched the book Those Not Left Behind and the second study of Leave No One Behind, or LNOB, in Jakarta on March 21st, portraying human interest stories of beneficiaries, 22 UN agencies in Indonesia, and illustrating impact of UN programs on their life and also communities. Joining us now, United Nations Resident Coordinator in Indonesia, Valerie Julliand. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the first question is, what inspired the United Nations to launch the Those Not Left Behind book in Indonesia?
Well, the main reason behind this book, I had the idea when I was thinking about all the work we do, all the efforts we do to change the life of people, and we try to measure the impact. It's always a difficult endeavor to know how much impact our work has. Because ultimately what we want, it's not only to do a nice policy or to do a nice data. What we want is to change the life of people. So this is how we decided, let us hear directly from the people themselves and have from them how the support that we have given them has really enabled them to overcome a difficulty, to improve their life. We wanted this not to be about statistics and data, and all this cold information that we often have in our report. We wanted this to really be a piece of the life of 22 persons, so that we can understand from them how actions, and sometimes not so big action, can change the life of people. So for us, this book is both a testimony, but also a call, an advocacy call to say, any action that we do vis-à-vis populations that are in poverty or that are discriminated against, that are marginalized, any action can change their life. And I think this is an encouragement through this book to everybody to join in the effort of focusing on the people who are left behind and therefore changing their life.
Okay, so my second question is, I'm really curious about how our local stakeholders and also Indonesian government involved in the implementation and dissemination of the findings from both the book and the study.
The book itself, I would say this is the book of the UN, and we are going to promote it mostly through social media, because actually the book exists in its physical form, but it's only a few copies. Nowadays we live in a world of social network and digital world, so we are going to disseminate this widely, because we really hope that those testimonies, as I say, will inform people, but also encourage other people to exactly do the same. But where we work very closely with the government, it's actually on the use of the data and the information that we have gathered through the second study that we did and that we are launching today on the groups that are left behind. Because we have been focusing on the people with disability in remote area, in Papua and in Sumba. And we are coming with this study with some recommendations on how to address the systematic barriers that they are facing. How can we be more effective in assisting them? And in that case, this work, we do it, of course, hand in hand with the government, because in the first place, the work that we have been doing that led to these testimonies of the 22 people, it's a work that we do jointly with the government. The United Nations is in the country working in support to what the government does. Our strategy is a strategy in support to the development plan of the country. So we do that hand in hand. For instance, we are working with the Bureau of Statistics in order to discuss with them what data is missing, and therefore what additional survey should be done in order to complement the data that we need on different groups in order to be able for the government to undertake the proper activities. So this is definitely a joint work. And we also do this work not only with the government, but also with civil society. The NGOs are very important partners to us, and as well as the development partners, the ambassadors and the donors, because they are the ones also who fund the operation that we do in order to be able to assist people in Indonesia.
Okay, and so my last question is, according to the book and the study also, and in your opinion, how the UN program influence people in Indonesia, and will be any initiative programs in the future?
I must say, with this book, somewhat we were very happy also to see how much we impact the life of people. Because I say it's not easy to measure. And whatever indicator you have, nothing equals the testimony of a person who will say, see, I was a farmer before, and what I was farming hardly was enough for me to survive. And now I have increased my income because I have increased all my harvest and so on and so forth. So nothing beats that. So for us it was good to hear that, but we do have an impact, and we see it all the time. We see it in all the endeavors we have, both at the level of the policy, the laws, but also the direct assistance. But at the same time, we have to understand that it's a joint work that makes a difference. It's because the government in the lead, with the support of the international community, and the UN that comes with a very specific expertise on some area. This is all this joint work that leads to results. Out of it, it's difficult to say, oh, that's the part of the UN, or oh, that's the part of the government, or that's the part of the NGOs. What is important is, faced with those challenges of poverty, discrimination, marginalization of the different groups that I've mentioned, it's only with a joint endeavor that should include, of course, government in all its entirety, but also private sector. When we talk about employment of people, we need the private sector on board. Of course, civil society, all the NGOs, have a crucial role to play because they are close to the people. They are really at the grassroots level. And they can help in, for instance, doing awareness raising on what are the rights of people and what should they should claim for, and so on and so forth. So it's only a joint endeavor that can really make a difference. So I would say, this is the way we have changed, this is the way we change, and this is the way we will change the life of people. It's really working hand in hand with all the different stakeholders. But the good news is, yes, the UN has an impact.
Okay, thank you so much, Valerie, for your time, and we hope UN programs still influence people across Indonesia.
Thank you very much, and thank you for covering this subject.
Okay, thank you. And that's wrap up my interview with UN Resident Coordinator Valerie Julliand, and we hope that UN programs will influence people in Indonesia and also in village. Alma and camera person Iqbal reporting for TVRI World.